From Tacoma, Washington, it's time to go cruising northwest.
All right, welcome to Cruising Northwest. Our show today is going to be about the I Like Mike Sample benefit run that took place in Olympia, Washington, Saturday, May 9th. And the guests today are Ken Segrin from the, you're not from the Olympia Street Rod Association. What's the name of your club, Ken?
I'm with the Dill Rod Car Club in Olympia, Washington.
And Jeff Lebrecht from the Olympia Street Rod Association. Welcome to the show, guys. Thanks for being here today.
No problem.
The event that we're going to be seeing on the air is the Mark Harper video that he shot that day down in Olympia. Now, this was an outdoor, open-air car show to raise funds for Mike Sample. In case you don't know, Mike Sample's a fellow that contracted a virus in his heart. His heart became enlarged, and Mike found himself, due to circumstances beyond his control, without any medical insurance. So the Olympia Street Rod Association and some of the other fellows down there, like Ken, have taken it upon themselves to try to raise some money for Mike, cover his expenses for testing at the University of Washington, I believe, to see if Mike is a suitable candidate for a heart transplant. Ken, you have a Chop 40 Chev Coupe that we'll be seeing in our video today.
It's a 46, Mark.
It's a 46.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Gee, I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken.
Well.
That'll be the first time, huh? And Jeff, you have a 35 Chev sedan, a real light mint green
Right,
car.
it's a standard two-door coach.
And you guys have been involved in cars for a long time, as has Mike.
Yes.
I think you had a T-Bucket was your first car, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that was one of the first ones. And I've grown into the Chevy. I liked my roll-up windows and got tired of being rained on going to California every year. We decided to buy the sedan. Now we also have another one now, too. We have two sedans, and we have a delivery that's going to be on the road, hopefully, in the next couple of years.
Now, you live in Olympia proper, do you?
Yes, I do, right.
Yeah, I know you work in Tacoma. At,
Yes, I do.
Rose's Market in South
Yeah.
Tacoma.
Right, I commute every day.
And I know you drive that Chevy a lot, back and forth.
Oh,
to work.
yeah,
That's
yeah, she does see the road.
a daily driver. I like that. Jeff, you're a little bit about your history with cars in the past. What have you had besides your 35 Chevy?
Well, actually, in high school, I had three 40 Ford. The first two were two-door sedans. The third one was a four-door sedan. The first one ended up being a parted-out car. The second two-door sedan, I made a trade and got the four-door sedan out of that deal. It had a modified flat motor in it with 3 carburetors. I had the car for probably a year and a half. Drove it to school. Then actually I kind of got into later models. I had a number of 57 Chevys, the last of which was a stock fuel-injected model, which was a pretty rare item in those days, and eventually sold it and became more street rod oriented. That was really my main love, was the older cars.
The Olympia Street Rod Association, where did this come from? One day I saw a plaque with some letters on it, tried to figure out what they meant, talked to somebody, and well, you guys are everywhere. You do a lot. How many members do you have? How long have you been in existence?
Well, the club started, I believe, in about 1972. I was not an original member. I entered the club in 1975. A good portion of the original members are still involved in the club. The club changes membership a little bit as time goes on, but right now we have about 17 members plus wives and children, which that's kind of the way street rodding is these days. It's more of a family-oriented sport than it was in the early days. It was more the backyard mechanic with his hot rod out playing around, and these days it's really more of a family-oriented sport.
And your club?
Well, it's the Dill Rods. We formed over in Tri-Cities. It was just a bunch of guys that we just got together, and we just kind of formed our own club with no dues, no meetings, you know, and Tri-Cities is our one main event, which we go to usually every year, and we have a good time. And it's a close-knit bunch of guys. We usually all go together, and we just kind of have a good time.
Well, that's great. We'll be back with more of the Mark Harper video after these messages from some of our fine sponsors. Don't go away.
They just don't build them like that anymore, and they haven't since about 1971. These are the classics, and they're worth some TLC. At Thumbs Up, the Classic Car Care Center at 166th and Meridian on Puyallup, South Hill. Restoration, rebuilding, repair, maintenance, they do it all at the one-stop Classic Car Service Center, Thumbs Up. Move forward to the past. Call Thumbs Up today. Ask about their brand of TLC, Total Lasting Care. Thumbs Up, just north of Thunfield on Meridian in Puyallup. You drive a Corvette because it's special. That's the way you want it treated. That's what happens at Pacific Corvette. Whether it's a tune-up or a complete overhaul, a paint job or an interior treatment, Pacific Corvette knows what special is all about. Mechanical service, body work, or a complete inventory of factory or custom parts. You find it all at Pacific Corvette, 112th and Canyon Road in Puyallup. Call statewide toll-free, 800-228-2857. Pacific Corvette.
In 1966, when my father celebrated his 50th anniversary in the automobile business, Ford Motor Company gave him an honorary Citizen of the Year bell. And then in 1978, when it was my pleasure to be so directly involved in the industry, I received one as well. I tell you this because the Mallon family has been selling Fords in South Tacoma Way since 1916. We're very committed to Ford. We think you should be too.
Hagen's, 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 Hagen's. How many times have you heard the name? 4. Parts, manuals, magazines, literature, parts, and more parts. Old parts, very old parts, even new parts. More than just one part? How about all the parts? They're all at Hagen's. Hagen's Auto Parts at 8526 River Road in Puyallup. Call the parts number, 845-7020, Hagen's. If Hagen's hasn't got it, it probably wasn't made.
Hi, welcome back to Cruzin Northwest. In case you just joined us, I'm Dick Page, and my guests today are Ken Seeger and Jeff Lebrecht. Jeff's with the Olympia Street Rod Association. We're discussing some of their members and their organization. I have to tell you a little quick story about Harold Ashenburner. He's one of your members, been a member for a long time. I have 32 Fords, lots of them in various stages of repair and disrepair. And one day I was coming home from watching Rock Around the Clock with Bill Haley and the Comets. I think I was about 10 or 11 years old, probably about 1955, 56. Standing on a street corner waiting for a bus, I see this really neat dark blue 32 Ford chop-top sedan come gliding up to a light and haze the tires a little bit and drive away, and fell in love with 32 Fords right there on the spot. That was probably a good 30-some years ago. And I had to wait till I went to California to actually see that car again, and it was Harold's car, and he still owns the car. It's the same guy. He belongs to your club. It's his fault I like dark blue and chopped tops and 32 Fords. I went all the way to California and met him on a street corner down there one day. Neat guy and neat car. Yep. See, a lot of guys keep the same car for a long time.
Yeah, his car is, the motor's been changed a number of times. The paint job's changed a number of times, but basically the car is pretty much the same as it was then.
Hardcore street rod guy. A real diehard.
In the Northwest, too.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Mike Sample and how he got involved in the Olympia Street Rod Association. You guys built a trailer one time for what? What was the purpose of that?
Well, the purpose on the trailer project was to raise money for the car club treasury. And the idea was conceived, and Mike Sample has a canopy shop where he builds pickup truck canopies. And so it thought that it would be a pretty natural move to construct the trailer at the premises of his business, and things kind of led from one to the next, and the next thing we knew, Mike had virtually built the trailer with his time and his materials. We went ahead and raffled the trailer off throughout the summer, and I believe the trailer was awarded at the Yakima Vintiques Northwest Nationals in August. And we tried to reimburse Mike for some of his time and his materials, but he wouldn't hear of it. So consequently, we went ahead and made him a lifetime member of the car club with all dues paid, thinking that this was really the least we could do to a guy that was willing to donate his time and energy.
Well, that's typical of Mike from what I've heard about him. He's helped an awful lot of people over the years do a lot of things, and now Mike, of course, needs a little bit of help himself, and I think it's fine that so many people have turned out and done so much for Mike. How did this particular thing get started?
Well, I think the initial beginning was our attorney, which happens to be the same attorney that Mike Sample has, approached my wife and myself and Joe Sattersway about Mike's condition. And we all understood that Mike did have a heart attack, but weren't under the understanding that it was as severe as it is. And he was trying to get Ed to find out how to get a hold of a donor heart, which is something we didn't know anything about. And they wanted to know what we could come up with as far as
helping
raising,
Mike?
getting money, and
Right.
we came up with an idea to put a car show on.
And we'll be right back after these messages.
Suppose you were looking for a 1932 three-window Ford Coupe. Yeah, that's a tough one to find. Probably have to build it. Better yet, let Vintique Reproductions build it for you. That's what they do. It's incredible. They literally recreate the classics. Vintique Reproductions at 9318 24th Avenue East, just off Highway 512 south of Tacoma. Call for a complete catalog of their line of fiberglass body structures, parts, and accessories. Vintique Reproductions, where the past comes alive. If the name is Oldsmobile, the name is Roberts. Roberts Motors at 2323 Auburn Way North in Auburn. Olds owners have come to depend upon Roberts for parts, for service, and for the little extras that make owning a classic Olds something special. Whether your classic is from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, or is one of tomorrow's classics, Roberts Motors is there for you at 2323 Auburn Way North. Roberts Motors in Auburn. The bigger they are, the harder they bump. But Meridian Collision Center does the tough ones with specialized equipment to handle 18-wheelers, buses, RVs, even fire trucks, from frames to finish. And they stand behind their work all the way. After all, you don't want to get a trucker mad at you. That's why the big ones come from near and far to Meridian Collision Center at 158th and Meridian on Puyallup, South Hill. If you've tried the rest, now use the best. Liquid Glass will take your vehicle from dull to bright in just one easy step. Liquid Glass contains a powerful cleaning agent, paint restorer, and rust inhibitor, and it's guaranteed safe to use on all paints and finishes. Liquid Glass cleans, polishes, mirror shines, and seals airtight in one simple step. No hard rubbing or buffing. It's easy and simple to use, and each application lasts a full year. It's called Liquid Glass.
When we had to stop for the break, Jeff Lebeck was telling us a little bit about the Mike Sample event in Olympia that took place on Saturday, May 9th, a fundraiser event for Mike Sample, one of the fellows from the Olympia Street Rod Association. We're going to take a little break here and stop for Anderson's Alley. Tim Anderson went out and Mark Harper went up on a hot air balloon ride, took some beautiful video, and we're going to watch that, and we'll be right back with some more about the Mike Sample event. You're going to enjoy this.
Who knows what evil lurks in the shadows of the Northwest? Tim Anderson does in Anderson's Alley.
This week, fly high as we go hot air ballooning. Ballooning is a sport much like cruising. Once you've had a taste of it, you keep coming back for more. We took our cameras to Riverfront Park in Kent for a breathtaking excursion into the sport of ballooning. And that's what's happening here in Anderson's Alley. Woo!
All right, welcome back. Jeff, I hate to make light of this little event that we just saw with the hot air balloon. It takes a lot of nerve to go up in a hot air balloon with or without a camera. And I was told that they used Tim for an anchor, but I don't think that was right. I think that was an exaggeration. Jeff, you were about to tell us when we stopped for Anderson's Alley a little bit about the car show and how it got started, the people that organized it a little bit. We got about a minute here before we stop again. Maybe you could expound on that a little bit right now.
Well, as Ken was mentioning a little earlier, the attorney, Ed Schaller, and himself, and Ken's wife. Ken was the one that contacted me, and he wanted me as a representative of the Olympia Street Rod Association to become involved in it. And basically, we started meeting at Schaller's office and devised the idea for the car show and went into it from there and organized it and basically put it on.
A lot of people put a lot of effort into this. Now, we're going to come back after we stop for this message, and I promise I won't interrupt you again. We'll get it all out. We'll be right back.
I'm glad this wasn't me. My mechanic said I needed my carburetor rebuilt. I was worried because I smelled gas fumes. What worried me even more, being a single woman, was trusting a garage to be honest with me. My friend, she told me about carburation technology. They did a great job and charged a lot less than I expected.
Carburation Technology, locations in Kent, Renton, Spanaway, and now in Lacey. For the location nearest you, call one of these numbers or 1-800-433-CARB.
Здраво, јас сам Преки из Такома Звезда. Моја Honda превод из Јужне Такоме мотора е заиста победник.
That's right, Precky. No matter how you say it, the entire selection of new Hondas is a winning lineup. They're exciting and always perform like real stars. Score big on the Honda of your choice at South Tacoma Motors. Hey, is this yours?
Yeah, join the team in South Tacoma Motors.
We invite you to be a part of our winning team of customers.
I've got to get up on a ladder to change the air filter in this baby, so I put in the Fram Extra Life. Lasts 50% longer than the old Fram single filter, but it doesn't cost any more. Inside, it works like two filters, an ordinary filter and an extra filter. You can get this double filter for your car, so why not put in the Fram Extra Life? 50% extra protection at no extra cost.
Fram Extra Life air filters now on sale at all Big Wheel Auto Parts stores. You may have noticed there's a brand new look at Leslie's in Lakewood's Colonial Center, where host Les Skelly presents a complete luncheon and dinner fare. Steak supreme, fresh seafood, the salad bar, and prime rib, as only Leslie's can prepare it. And when the sun goes down, things get lively in the Nightlife Lounge. So if you're tired of the routine, visit Leslie's in Lakewood and enjoy.
Welcome back to Cruzin Northwest, and we've been joined by Ken Segren's definitely better half, Cheryl Segren. And Cheryl had a lot to do actually with the promotion of this event, and she's worked hard on this, as everyone has. You want to tell us a little bit about some of the future events that are planned? This is not the end of this now. This is something that's an ongoing thing. I want people to realize that. This is something that you're going to have multiple events, try to continue to raise money. And there's a possibility that there will be a heart fund established, possibly something in conjunction with the University of Washington. We can't say too much about that yet. But tell us a little bit about the future plans.
Well, there's a gentleman in Grays Harbor who's already planned or is planning an event in June. And Jeff and the rest of us were talking about possibly getting someone down Centralia Chehalis with July and possibly Tacoma area for August, and then we could go ahead and come up with another run in September ourselves to keep raising money for Mike.
Here at Cruzin Northwest, we were discussing the possibility of helping someone here locally in Tacoma at some future date, in a not too distant future, try to put on a Mike Sample benefit event in conjunction with the Olympia Street Rod Association. I think this is a worthwhile cause, and I'm sure a lot of Tacoma street rodders that didn't know about this event would be more than happy to participate. I think we could all do some good.
Well, Dick, I'd like to comment at this time about this button, the I Like Mike button, which we are having made, and we'll provide these buttons for any group that wants to put on a benefit for Mike. I'd like to also comment a little bit about the fact that Mike used to really go to a lot of rod runs and is probably one of the better known street rodders in the area.
We had mentioned on a previous show that Mike's two cars that Mike has are for sale. One's a 48 Ford convertible, chopped top, yellow, Carson style top, wire wheels, beautiful car. The other car is a 56 Buick Custom, lavender and purple, white interior, also a nice car. Do you happen to know the prices of those cars?
Well, I think the price on the Buick is around $8,500, and I believe the price on the convertible is in the $15,000 bracket.
And of course, Mike is trying to sell these cars to defray some of the medical expenses himself.
Right.
And this is a fine effort that a lot of people are going through to try to make this work, try to show their support for Mike. Mike has quite a reputation for being a helper. He's helped an awful lot of people, not just in the Olympia area, but all over. Everywhere he's lived all his life, Mike's always been the big brother to all the little kids. His garage door's always been open. He's done a lot to try to spread the good word about street rodding, hot rodding. He has a lot of friends, a lot of important friends in the Olympia area that really trying to show their support now.
That's right, Dick. The thing about Mike is that, and this became sort of a keynote of the whole benefit thing, that it could be anybody. It just happens to be Mike. It could be you, it could be myself, it could be Cheryl, and if it was that way, Mike would be one of the first people out there helping.
Yeah, he has quite a reputation for that. We're going to be back with a little more of this right after these messages from one of our fine sponsors. If you know some of our sponsors that make this show possible, stop by, give them a call, tell them if you like the show. If you don't like the show, don't say anything at all. Okay, don't go away. We'll be right back.
The famous rocket emblem that has come to represent Oldsmobile quality and value over the years never looked so good as it does at 2323 Auburn Way North in Auburn. That's Roberts Motors, headquarters for Oldsmobile, Jeep, and AMC. Roberts Motors, where they don't just sell cars, they make friends with selection, service, and follow-through. Family-owned and operated since 1959. Roberts Motors, 2323 Auburn Way North in Auburn, Little Detroit of the West. Hagen's, 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 Hagen's. How many times have you heard the name?
4.
Parts, manuals, magazines, literature, parts, and more parts. Old parts, very old parts, even new parts. More than just one part? How about all the parts? They're all at Hagen's. Hagen's Auto Parts at 8526 River Road in Puyallup. Call the parts number, 845-7020, Hagen's. If Hagen's hasn't got it, it probably wasn't made. If you've tried the rest, now use the best. Liquid Glass will take your vehicle from dull to bright in just one easy step. Liquid Glass contains a powerful cleaning agent, paint restorer, and rust inhibitor, and it's guaranteed safe to use on all paints and finishes. Liquid Glass cleans, polishes, mirror shines, and seals airtight in one simple step. No hard rubbing or buffing. It's easy and simple to use, and each application lasts a full year. It's called Liquid Glass. When Doug's High Performance Warehouse ran this newspaper ad recently, it caused a lot of talk. For the first time in 28 years, the Northwest's leading high-performance automotive supplier offering wholesale prices to the public. Here's one example of what that means to you. And you'll find the same kind of savings on all 109 product lines at Doug's High Performance Warehouse, where qualified counter personnel will serve your needs and back up your purchase with service. Doug's, wholesale to you at 2316 A Street in Tacoma.
Welcome back. We've been watching the Mike Sample benefit event in Olympia, the Mark Harper video. We've been joined today by Ken Segrin and Jeff LeBrecq and Ken's better half, Cheryl Segrin. And we've been talking about some of the good folks that helped put this event on. Naturally, there's so many people involved in this, you couldn't possibly attempt to name everybody. There'd be pages of names. I'm sure that you want to give everybody your thanks.
I definitely would like to do that, Dick. There have been a lot of people that have contributed both time and money and really helped out a lot on this. I'd also like to thank you people for giving us the opportunity to talk to the public on this.
Well, that's what this show's all about. It's for car people, by car people, and we can do a little good along the way, so much the better.
I think that's been a lot of what's helped Mike. I know he told us that the doctors at the university did not know why he was still alive, the condition his heart was in. And I think it was all the people who cared enough to stay with him and not let him down during that time that kept him going.
It's been a good experience for everybody. Makes you feel good to do something nice once in a while, doesn't it? Yeah.
Help somebody out.
Yeah, we want to thank Ken, even though he's not in the room any longer, for being here today. Thank you, guys. And we want to thank the nice people at Channel 11 also for their cooperation and helping make this show possible. And our sponsors, Doug's High Performance Warehouse, that carries our complete line of videotapes now, along with Sparrow Video. And just a lot of really nice cooperation. We're having a real good time doing this show, and we're going to be going to quite a few events this summer. At the end of the program, I'll be talking about some of the upcoming events. We've been trying to do that every week to try to get people hooked into watching the show so they can see what's going on in their neighborhood. This show covers quite a large area, and there's a lot of events going on. If you have an event that you'd like to have publicized, get word to us. We'll put it on the air. We'll talk about your event. If you have a picture of a car, something that you may have had in the past, a car that you have now, and you'd like to see it on the air, send a self-addressed stamped envelope and a nice clear snapshot. You might tell the people down in Olympia to do this too. We have what we call bumps that occur just before and after commercials, and sometimes we use viewers' cars in those bumps. Put your name on the screen, have a picture of your car on there. Be a nice souvenir. A lot of people record this show because there's a lot of events going on the weekends, and people set their VCRs. It would be nice if they could do that.
Even a garage scene, possibly.
Right, right. We are going to have some more features occurring on this show as time goes on. This show is going into the second season. We've been renewed. We're real pleased about that. We're having a real nice time doing this show, and it's been very well received. I want to thank you for watching. See you next week, same time, same station. As usual, we have a lot to talk about because we can't get into the regular show. Today, at the San Michelle Winery, we're going to have our cameras at Woodinville for the Oldsmobile show. Also today, the Night Riders Summer Car Show is taking place. And also today, the Everett Antique and Classic Auto Show in Everett. Get out of the house. Try to take in some of these events. This is a lot of fun. You'll see that there's a lot going on in the old car business, and these are very good events to attend. Tomorrow will be the Rose City Street Rod Run. Also tomorrow, the Yakima Rods and Customs 4th Annual Run. Tomorrow also, the Medford, Oregon Swap Meet and Car Display. June 14th and 15th will be the 15th Annual Salem Swap Meet. Also the 14th and 15th will be, again, the 15th Annual All Ford Picnic. June 20th and 21st, the 9th Annual Wenatchee Valley Street Rods Apple Run. June 21st will be the Washington All GM Picnic at King County Fairgrounds in Enumclaw, Washington. June 26th to 28th will be the 4th Annual National Street Rod Association Northwest Nationals in Salem, Oregon. July 3rd to the 5th will be the Pacific Tiger Club in Silverdale, Washington. July 3rd, 4th, and 5th, the Northwest Band Council Run at Clover Creek Grange in Spanaway, Washington. July 11th and 12th at SIR, the Old Timers Car Club presents the Nostalgia Drag Racing Association Old Time Drags. That's really nice. It's my own club, and I miss being